Well, hello, my friends. Thank you for joining me today. Have you ever had times in your life when you just felt overwhelmed? All the decisions and all the responsibilities, you just felt like you were sinking in the mud and you didn't know how you were going to make it. Well, in our reading today in Psalm 67 to 71, we read the psalmist David in chapter 69. He has those same feelings and he feels like he's sinking. Let me just read beginning in verse 1. He says, "Save me, O God, for the waters have come up to my neck. I sink in deep mire where there is no foothold. I have come into deep waters and the flood sweeps over me. I am weary with my crying out. My throat is parched. My eyes grow dim with waiting for my God." And then over in verses 14 and 15, "Deliver me from sinking in the mire. Let me be delivered from my enemies and from the deep waters. Let not the flood sweep over me, or the deep swallow me up, or the pit close its mouth over me." You see, David felt the overwhelming feeling, just like you and I do oftentimes. I'm reminded over the New Testament in Matthew chapter number 14, where Jesus was walking on the water and he called, and Peter said, "Lord, if it's you, let me come." And Peter went out and walked on the water too. But then Peter got his eyes on the rough waves and the problems that were around him. And he began to sink, and he said this, "Lord, save me." That's all he said. He didn't have time to say the Lord's Prayer, "Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name," and so on. He didn't have time to say any other memorized or liturgical prayer. He just simply said, "Lord, save me." Just like the psalmist David here. He said, "Save me, O God." I want to say, friends, that God will save you. Even though there are times when we are overwhelmed, I will admit to you, my wife and I recently have been going through one of those times when we've been overwhelmed. And interesting, she went to the post office recently, and she got in a conversation with a gentleman who was actually the janitor, I think, of the post office. And she was in conversation with him, just small talk. But as she started to leave, he said this, "Be encouraged." That's all he said. Now, he didn't know anything about things that she and I were going through with, but it encouraged me. I'm going to say, friends, if we will just hang on with God and call out to him, "Lord, save me," in those times when we are overwhelmed, he'll be there, just like he was with Peter. He reached out and pulled him out of that water. And when he didn't have time to do anything but say, "Save me, help me, Lord, I need help." Some of you need help today. Just call out to him and say, "Lord, help me." He'll be there. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.